This is the amateur aquaponics guy, and today I'm going to talk about a question that I always get when I tell people that I have a hobby of aquaponic gardening. And the question is, how does that work? Well, I'll say this. It is a science. It's a science to it that I've been slowly learning for the past 6 years. It is challenging, and it's fun. Now, as to how it works, let me just say this. Aquaponic gardening is gardening without soil or dirt. I mean, when you think about it, your traditional gardening, you need soil, you need dirt. Why? Because it is the nutrients in the soil that feeds the plants, that allow the plants to grow and flourish. Now, in aquaponic gardening, the nutrients comes from the fish, or more specifically, the fish waste, the feces that the fish give off. Now, the challenge in aquaponic gardening is that you have to filter that fish waste, that solids. You have to filter out the solids and to get the very small, minute nutrients that you really can't see that's in the water to feed your plants. That is the difference. Now, there are different ways to do that. And what I mean is that if you look at YouTube, you will see a lot of different aquaponic systems as to how that's done. And what I have done over the few years is just look and see how other people were doing things. Like I said before in other episodes, there are people out here who are doing some wonderful things with aquaponics. And I am no professional whatsoever, so I am constantly learning. My system is very simple, very basic, and it just uses gravity. And in a minute or two, in a few seconds, I'm going to show you what my system, or not what, but how it works. Like I said, if you enjoy my show, you're more than welcome to subscribe. And within my About Me section, I do have some links with some other folks on YouTube that are into aquaponic gardening, and they're doing some wonderful things. So I don't claim to be the cream of the crop. I'm just a guy who loves gardening, and I just enjoy sharing the things that I've learned with other people. So that said, aquaponic gardening is pretty much gardening without soil or dirt, and substituting the nutrients that you get from soil with the nutrients that you get from fish waste. And in that process, you have to filter the fish waste, the solids, to use the nutrients in order to feed your plants. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of TLC with your plants. It's not a situation where you just kind of just throw something up and you just kind of forget about it. No. It's an everyday thing where you have to constantly tend to your system, your plants, your fish. But it's very rewarding, because when you can meet the challenge and do different things you didn't think you could do, like I said, it's very rewarding. It's just like this avocado plant that I put here back in May, and it was just an experiment. I didn't know what would happen, and here it is. So there's gonna come a time, maybe in a few months, a couple more months, when this gets a little bit more sturdy. I'm gonna transfer it to the soil. So these are the things, like I said, with aquaponics that you learn to appreciate. So in just a second or two, I'm going to show you how I built this system to do something like this. So stick around, let's see how it goes. All right, so how does this work? Well, there's three basic things you're gonna need. One, you're gonna need a tank, okay? And remember I said I use gravity? This tank is at the lowest level of my system. I'm gonna pan over to the left and you can see the other two levels. Okay, you see the small white bucket, you see the blue drum, that's for filtering. And then you see the IBC tote, which I painted green, that is where I keep my fish. And that's a little bit higher. If you notice, go back to the tank. The tank is to the lowest level, right? And then it goes up in 3 different steps. All right, back to the tank. If you can see down here, there's a pump. And this pump, what this pump does is it pumps water, and this is the water that has been filtered and has the nutrients that you want to feed your grow beds. Okay, so what this pump does, it pumps that water through here, and I have it teed off. I have water going in 2 locations. One, it goes to these grow beds, which I have 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then the other line goes back to the fish tank. In just a second, I'm going to show you how that looks. So like I was saying before, it's split off. So the nutrient water goes here, which feeds nutrients in the grow beds to my herbs and plants. And then the other hose leads to this fish tank. Okay? Now, you can see my fish in here. So if you notice, this right here, this pipe, it goes all the way to the floor, and it is connected to here. I put a valve there in case I ever need to stop the water. Down here and inside this drum. So what happens with this drum is that water rises to this level. It rises to this level, and then the fish waste falls down, and you can see the that darkness there. That's your fish waste. It falls down, and then the water level rises to here. And then into here. And I have some screening and cloth in there for more filtration. And then it runs when it fills up. And then it runs here. Now, at every level is just a little bit higher than the next. Okay? And that's how you use gravity. And it all starts with that pump. That pump brings this water here, and it slowly fills this tank. And as the water level rises from there, that water goes here. It rises up, and it sucks the fish waste from the tank up here, and that fish waste drops down. It's a very slow process. And then that water, when it rises, it goes from here, more filtration, through here, down, and back into the tank. And there's even you know, filtration here. I put it there. Okay. One thing that I have learned about doing this is filtration, filtration, filtration. Okay. So in a second, I'm gonna feed the fish because I haven't fed them enough in a few. So I'm just moving on the other side of the tank so you can see how that pipe goes all the way to the bottom. And when that water level creates that push that comes up and out there into the drum, and then back down to the tank. And if you notice, we go from here down to here, down to there, down to the tank. So you use gravity to let that water filter its way back down to your grow beds. So these are the fish that I use to fertilize my plants. And these are my tilapia. I haven't fed them. Let's see if they eat. There we go. Now I do have another large IBC tote, which is over here. Now this tank is not connected to my aquaponic garden. It's just a spare tank where I have other tilapia fish where I am going to harvest these fish, these tilapia. That's a nice way of saying I'm going to eat these tilapia. I've never done it before, but you know, I'm going to try it. So I just have these over here growing to get to a point to where I can harvest them. A little hungry. Eat up, boys. Okay, one more thing I want to show you. How the grow beds work. So as you've seen in this last grow bed, the water is coming in here. So what the water does, it fills up this grow bed to a certain level. And when it gets to a certain level, this bell siphon, which is connected to the bottom, let me show you a different angle. This bell siphon that's connected to right here drains that water out, and it goes back to the tank, and then it recirculates all over again. See right there, recirculating that water, so it's a constant. Each one of these grow beds does that. The water fills up to a certain level, and then it empties itself out, and goes over and over and over again.